Hi everyone, welcome back to SwitchUp and to the midweek sales where we look at games that are between 50 and 100%, but none of them are 100%.
No, 99.9% off.
Recurring.
Get it while it's hot.
Oh, it's hot, all right. So, if you want to save yourself 5% more, you can go to switchup.gg to buy your eShop credit. We get a little kickback from Nintendo and you get your cash back and hopefully a grin on your face. All right, what are the games on sale this week? Well, let's find out. Thanks to F.I.S.T who have sponsored this episode. They've sponsored a number of these over the last couple of years, and it's a food delivery service with chef-prepared meals delivered directly to your door.
Yep, this is eating stress-free with ready-to-eat meals, all fresh, never frozen, chef-crafted and dietitian approved, and ready to eat in just 2 minutes. You can choose from a weekly menu of 35 options, including popular options like Calorie Smart, Keto, Protein Plus or Vegan and Veggie, and also discover more than 60 add-ons every week, such as breakfast, on-the-go lunch, snacks and beverages.
Yeah, I've actually started keto this year, and for me it's been much easier, like just keeping carbs super low and enjoying green veggies and meat and stuff, and this makes it really easy.
Do you know what I like about it too is the fact that it offers vegan and veggie separately.
Yeah.
That might sound silly, but as a vegetarian who's not a vegan, that's really nice to see because it doesn't happen so much anymore.
Absolutely, and throw in the fact that it eliminates the hassle of prepping, cooking or cleaning up. You just have to heat things up and enjoy quality ingredients. A decent service, and I know a lot of you have used it over the years. Do check out our links, they'll be down in the description, and you can get 50% off and free shipping on your first Factor box just by clicking on that link.
Lovely stuff. Thanks once again to Factor75 for sponsoring this video.
Kicking off then, we've got Paradise Killer, which is just £3.87. That is a 75% discount. This is an unusual game. It's like a mixture of visual novel and 3D detective up. You basically play as like a million-year-old detective goddess or god.
Okay.
And you have to go around this island trying to figure out who done it, because the other gods have been, well, just doing weird things. So it is like literally like Sherlock Holmes was an immortal, weird god.
Yeah.
You have to go and investigate crime scenes, examine like body outlines and stuff like that.
Nice, yeah. I do like games like that.
Yeah, it's really good. And I think that's the thing. Everyone says it's a hidden gem, but at this point it's been spoken about so much.
It's been unearthed.
It's been well and truly unearthed.
It's in a museum somewhere.
It is. And now it's at the front of a sales video, so not hidden at all. But it's just weird how I think more visual novels need to go down the route of mixed genres.
Yes.
You know, that 3D open world actually works really well for it.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, you've got, obviously, you mentioned Sherlock Holmes. You do have Sherlock Holmes games on the Switch.
Yeah.
Which do that very well. They're a nice mix of visual storytelling with that detective angle of investigating crime scenes and what have you. But the kind of synopsis you've just given of this one is very appealing to me. I really like the sound of this.
Next up then, we've got Citizen Sleeper at 70% off, matching its lowest, that's £5.39.
Yeah, I'm playing this at the minute. The physical version, I bought it the other week, and it's a very good game. Its sequel is either just come out or just coming out, depending on when this video releases. But they are standalone stories.
Okay.
So you can go straight to the sequel if you wish, or you can play this first game. It's like a tabletop RPG where you play as an android on this space station in a society where androids are seen as less than humans. And this person is trying to kind of better their own life and escape from a corporation that's tracking them because they're seen as basically like stolen property, you know? And you make decisions and roll the dice to try and get the positive outcome you want. Very good story, really enjoying it so far. Not overly long, that can be a positive or a negative for some people. But for that price, yeah, if you're happy for a bit of a slow burn and not a huge amount of action, I would definitely recommend this one.
Don't own you anymore.
Wake up, sleeper. You are hunted. Break their locks.
Following on from that, in the US regions, you've got the cheapest ever price on Loop Hero. That's 75% off, down to $3.74, I think they call them.
That's ludicrously
Isn't it?
cheap. Like this is one of the most enjoyable games.
Yeah.
Like roguelike games, I guess, it is, isn't it? I think I've ever played. I love this game. And for what, $3 odd? Yeah. You just can't go wrong.
You can't
go wrong.
But I would say a lot of people would look at this and go, oh no, that doesn't appeal to me.
Yes, it has that very old school, like home computer style.
It does.
Top down, where you're making your way across like a terrain. But it's not like that. It's not what you may expect. You're doing a loop basically of the world, and the world is terraforming as you do that, and you're putting new tiles down to create new areas and fighting against these creatures. And once you've done enough loops, a boss will appear. It's just so well crafted.
It really is. It's so strange to even describe it, but it reminded me of the Never-Ending Story.
Right.
Like there was this thing called the Nothingness that removed everything. And here you put in things back in, like you put 4 rocks into a square and it creates a mountain.
Yes, yeah.
And then enemies from that mountain will spawn into the loop, which then improves the experience of your warrior. And then you take that back to a hub area where you can gradually improve it. It's quality game. And for what, $3 odd?
Yeah.
Yes, please. Kaze and the Wild Masks. Now, perhaps not the best. It's like a platformer, isn't it, this one?
Yeah, Kaze.
Kaze, not Kaze. I apologise profusely for my use of phonics. But this one is 90% off, just $1.99.
That's a great price.
Isn't it?
This is a very good game. It's very much in the Donkey Kong Country school of 2D platformer. You find masks as you play through the game, and each mask will then give you the powers of a different animal. So it could be, it turns you into a shark, and then obviously there are water levels. I think it's a frog, it might not be a frog, but it makes you faster, you can jump higher, and then some of the levels are themed around that.
Yeah.
It's just a very tight platformer. If you like Donkey Kong Country, obviously we've just had the re-release or the new release of Returns. Very expensive, very expensive.
Stupidly expensive.
Crazily expensive. You want a similar experience for £1 or $1, did you say?
Yeah.
Oh, mate.
$1.99.
Yeah, no, pick it up. Very good game.
Happy days. Okay, jumping back over the pond then and splashing in our own shores
Yeah.
in Southend-on-Sea.
Yeah, nice. Good place.
We have the lovely Darkwood. Now, you wouldn't usually describe Darkwood as lovely. Have you played this?
Yes, I have.
This is absolutely terrifying.
Yeah, it's a strange one because it's like a top-down horror game.
It's terrifying.
And it shouldn't be as creepy as it is. But it's very well, the horror is handled very well. And the use of dark and shadow creates a brilliant atmosphere.
You have to basically leave. You start out like in this little shack.
Yeah.
And there's like, I can't remember what exactly, but there is a time element. You can't just sit in there and chill. So you have to go out into the darkness with your little torch and go gather things up and scavenge around. There's crafting in there as well, like a full skill tree. But I do remember, and I don't like horror, but I remember being like, this is quality. This is a great game. So I think at the moment this one is down 70%, which matches its cheapest ever price. And there is a storyline as well. I have to be honest, I haven't finished it because I was too scared. But for that price, it's an easy recommendation.
It's one of those that you would miss off a top horror games list, just because of how it looks, as unfair as that is. But it's well worth being on any list. It's a great game.
Next up then we've got This War of Mine, the complete edition, which we have spoken about a number of times. Like, it's a very good game, but I bet you didn't realise that the sequel is almost out.
I didn't even know a sequel was coming. Yeah, no.
Yeah, happy days. So there's a few games actually from like flashbacks. This, Moonlight has got a sequel.
Yep, I heard of that one.
Yeah. But this one is such a... Well, it's not one of those games I would even describe as enjoyable half the time because it's so stressful.
No, it's not enjoyable. It's compelling.
Compelling, good word.
It tells the horror of war from the civilian perspective, and you play as a group of civilians that are living in this house, trying to get through every day, and you live the every day of war without the fighting. It's just the surviving.
Yeah.
Having to get resources, having to cook for each other, having to decide which of your characters is going to stay up and act as a lookout, having a character go out at night and get the supplies in a hostile world where everyone's out for themselves, and the war that, you know, the enemy is not who your country is fighting. All of a sudden, it's the people that you used to class as neighbours because nobody's got anything anymore. It's a very, very good game in achieving what I think it set out to do, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it was hard hitting enough, and then this version included that Little Ones DLC where you could play as a kid.
Yeah, you're looking after a child in the house as well.
Oh my word, crazy.
Yeah, it's not a game, you know, if you're looking for something to ease away the hours and have fun to, I wouldn't describe this like that, but it would do it a disservice to not say it's worth playing, you know?
Yeah, this one's 95% off, £1.79, and that goes on until February the 10th. One that had made the subscribers' top picks of last year was the Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, which is now 50% off, which seems like a good price. I think this scored very well. I reviewed this one, and I was just so impressed. It is a Metroidvania though, and it's fallen within a week where we've literally had 3 excellent Metroidvanias release. And I think their launch prices are kind of around this.
What is the price of this one at
This
the
is
moment?
$19.99, so it's half price.
Yeah, that's a good price for it. You can pick this up physically for around about that same price. So if you're a physical collector, you don't even need to wait for this eShop sale. That's about the price it's going for now. And it's worth that. Like it's a very good game. It's a good return to form for the Prince of Persia series. Nice 60 frames per second. It had an interesting, almost like assist system.
Yeah.
Where if you got a bit lost, there were like these golden winds that would lead you back the way you needed to go if you wanted it. Tough combat, but satisfying at the same time.
Yeah, really fair as well. You know, you had your bow as well that you use for combat, but also for like traversing different platforms. It was really good actually. It was the puzzles that were probably one of the strongest elements of this. It uses that like time mechanic as well, where you would see yourself and then like you'd be able to split off. So he would go and flick one switch and then you'd jump and do the other side. Yeah, some of the puzzles are so well designed. This is a great game. As Glenn says, if you're a physical collector, go grab it there. But otherwise, 50% off in the US regions. I'm not sure if it's the UK as well. You'll see at the bottom of the screen. Down to its cheapest ever price in the US as well, you've got F.I.S.T, Forged in Shadow Torch. That's what it stands for.
Thank God for that.
In case you're wondering. This is another that has a physical. I don't know how cheap that is, but it can be bought on PlayAsia. Link in the description, 5% off. But this at $10.49, that's 65% off. This is a cracking game. So essentially, although it doesn't look like it, you've got these anthropomorphic, one's a rabbit, and then the society themselves are dogs. And the oppressive relationship from the dogs to the rabbit's side, and it's based on, I think it's Japan's occupation of China, where at one stage in history they occupied an area, and it's kind of based on that loosely. But in terms of gameplay, it's a bit Metroidvania-y. You've got this huge fist that can be adapted. You can put different things onto it, and then it helps you to traverse around. It's a cool game. The city that you're in, it reminds me of Midgar from Final Fantasy VII. Really enjoyable, and as I say, the cheapest it's ever been in the US regions. That sale goes on until February the 10th. Next up then, we've got Digimon Survive, which is down 70% to £13.49. An unusual but decent game, this one.
Yeah, I played this. I really like this actually. It's not what I was expecting
No,
at all.
no, there's like a group of school kids that find themselves stuck in a time loop, don't they?
Yeah, they go on like
building.
a school trip
Yeah.
or something, and then as you say, there's some sort of time mechanic where they're stuck in this loop. It plays like a visual novel for the most part, but it does then have like tactical based combat using the Digimon.
Yeah, that doesn't come in for ages.
It takes a while. You got to get through some story first.
Oh yeah.
Which, yeah, it could, for some, might be a deal breaker, but someone that doesn't mind visual novels, I was quite pleasantly surprised, actually.
So how does it play out then? Because I got up to the part, where you're starting all the combat and doing all of that. What happens after that?
So I don't know a lot about Digimon, so I can't really comment on that, but as you go through, you meet these creatures and they kind of join you, and then you have them in your party, and at certain points you'll be taken to, as I say, like a traditional tactical screen, you know, where you're on a grid and needing to fight against enemies, turn-based. I thought it handled both well. It was a good visual novel, good story, and the combat side was interesting as well. So if you like those two, You mentioned a minute ago, didn't you, about merging visual novels with something else?
Yeah.
This is exactly that.
Lovely. So yeah, go check that out. That one's on a nice chunky sale. Last but not least, then we have the Demon Turf bundle. This is a really weird old school platformer that has the whole I don't know what you'd call it, like the hub area mechanics you'd see in like Mario.
Yeah, when you then
Mario.
jump into a level or what have
Exactly.
you. Yeah.
Exactly. But a very unusual art style where it's got like a 2D character against these 3D backdrops. Some people really didn't like that, but I thought it was brilliant, and I was actually surprised in terms of like level design. This reminded me most of some of the earlier, again, Mario 64. Some of those levels, I'm reminded of the snow one that you showed me when we played it most recently.
yeah.
You know, some of the stages here really do reflect that kind of design language, and that's a big compliment in my opinion. So yeah, if you like that style of game, this has both the original release and the expanded game that came out. I think it's about 12 quid, something like that. Definitely a good one. Go check out our full review if you're interested.
I do it.
I always got your back, Peeps.
You and me.
There we go. That's 10 games on sale, midweek sale, between 50% and whatever you want, 90 odd 9% off. Don't forget, you can save a bit more money if you use our website, switchup.gg, to get your eShop cards from. You'll get yourself 5% of your purchase price back as cash back. There's also links down there to Play Asia. We mentioned it in jest, but it's down there, and you can get yourself 5% off your order by using our link and the code stated. A quick thank you to our patrons and our channel members for your continued support, and to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take care, and until next time, happy gaming.